Well, I want to welcome you all here tonight. I'm so excited to have our special guest join us again. I know, Stephen, your time is precious, but I know that Canada is in your heart. We have some pretty big goals to grow our businesses internationally. And I would love actually many of you have not had the opportunity of meeting Stephen. Our new vice president of, oh my gosh, it's hard to remember, something development.
Field development.
Field development, thank you. I actually had to call a couple of times today and write that down. And I still gapped. But anyways, I know it's a new position. And I think it's wonderful to have you join our North American team. So if you want to maybe introduce yourself and share some of the good news and talk a little bit more about this amazing new incentive. Thank you, Stephen.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thank y'all for having me on again. And just real quick, I just want to introduce myself for those that I haven't had a chance to meet. I'm going to be a prior team meeting or, virtually at either the senior manager school or one of our weekly calls. But so I'm Stephen Whitwell. I've actually, so today's March 1st. So I guess I've been a part of the Neolife family now for a month and a half. So I started in the middle of January, but I got to know the organization well before that, back in the fall of 2021, getting to know and meet and spend a lot of time with Kendra Brassfield, obviously our CEO, and was blown away with her. But long story short, I've been in this industry going into my 11th year. Started right out of graduate school. My background is in finance and accounting. Long story short, I'm probably just like every one of you in that I found direct sales by accident. And what I mean by that is I didn't grow up hoping, wishing, and dreaming I'd be part of a direct selling company one day. Didn't even know what direct selling was 15 years ago. But the chief financial officer at a direct selling company locally where I live here in the Texas area thought I'd be a good fit for the industry and introduced me to it. I got started back in 2011, working in field development and sales and marketing and support of you all the promoters out in the field, and fell in love with the industry. What I fell in love with was the people. I fell in love with just how relational this industry is. And it's not transactional like so many other businesses can be. It's all about just transactions and numbers, but it's about people and impacting people's lives for the better. And that's what really blew me away. What I saw is that how, we have an opportunity, you all have an opportunity each and every day to go introduce products and a healthy lifestyle to someone that could change the course and the direction of their life forever. And who knows, that could even have a generational impact. Well, then that transfers down into their kids and their kids. And what could have been a whole generation of poor health and not taking care of their bodies and that kind of stuff is changed drastically. Or even what even fires me up more, just as much as that, I wouldn't say more, but is the financial opportunity that this industry can provide. And when I saw that, I just knew there was nothing like it. I learned quickly that there is not another opportunity on the planet like a direct sales opportunity, which gives people the opportunity to go live an above average life, to go live to go be able to build something that allows them to do things in life they never thought they would be able to do, be able to go on vacations that people thought they'd never be able to go on, be able to say yes to things in life they never thought they'd be able to say yes to be able to not have the stress of debt and other things in life that they just assumed they were going to carry with them forever. So long story short, when I got introduced to the industry, I fell in love with it immediately. And that's why I've been a part of it now for the last, 11 years. And that's why I've dedicated my career to this industry, and I will continue. And again, I spent most of my time working with you all in the field and training and support and, recognition and sales and marketing, all of that aspect of it. And long story short, I went through a journey in the industry. I was with the company first for about 8 years, and it was a great experience, great organization, learned a lot, everything like that. And then that company made a lot of structural changes to the compensation plan and how it was going to partner with the field, something I couldn't believe in any longer, couldn't support. So I knew that my time at that company was going to be ending. And I wanted a company that was for the promoters, for the field. And so with that being said, I was able to find a couple of other opportunities in the industry. And I guess I can put it this way, is none of them were home for me. Oh, Sorry, there's my little one back here running around. Hey, hold on 1 second.
Hey, we want to say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. What's
No,
his name?
oh, he's running away.
That's
So
okay.
that my wife's the real hero.
It's funny because the last time John Miller, one of his talks, the dog came in, and that was so funny. Anyway, so don't worry, kids are allowed once in a while.
Well, thank you. So that's my wife's the real hero. So we have that was Asher you just saw, who's 3.5, and then we have Maddie, who's 18 months, and we're due in 6 weeks with our third. And so she has her hands full, sun up to sundown. So my apologies for that. He was running away from mom, trying to, I guess, play tag or something along those lines. Long story short, so I just could not find a home in my industry. I'm getting to Neolife here. I want to speak to something that is becoming on my heart every day more and more that I'm here. So I couldn't find my home in this industry just for many reasons. And long story short, I feel like the Lord placed Neolife in my life at the perfect opportunity. A friend in the industry reached out to me and said, Stephen, you have to take a look at this company. And this is someone who's been in this industry for 40 plus years who I really respect. And she said, I would not reach out to you unless I really thought that you'd be crazy not to look at this company. I've known about this company for a long time. And she said that she is one of my favorite companies in the direct selling industry I've ever had a chance to work with or partner with. You have to look at it. So long story short is I got a chance to take a deep dive into Neolife. And I'll tell you what I saw. And I believe this, and this is going to relate to this, is I think there's 4 aspects of a direct selling organization that have to be in place for the company to reach its full potential and for you all to have the best opportunity at success. And if these 4 things are not in place, you're just never going to be able to reach the heights that you want to reach or the company wants to reach. And the parts that I figured out is in my 11 years, I figured out the four parts is one is the products. Like, you know, they say in real estate, it's about what? Location, location, location. Like that's the end of the day. That's where value really is found or lost, is in the location. And in our industry, it's the products. I believe if the products are not safe, effective, of high quality, and get people results, and are not, they have to be world class. Because if you don't have that is the foundation of any opportunity in direct selling, is you got to have products that people love, that get results. And I believe this. I think that with enough hype and enough marketing, you can create enough buzz or hype around a product for a short period of time. Give it a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, you can create. I've seen it. I've witnessed it in other companies. That you don't have to have a great product, and you can create a great run for 2 or 3 years. But I'll tell you what I've seen every time, they call them the pop and drop, is that company's going to pop and drop, because at the end of the day, people will figure out quickly the products don't deliver the value that they said it was going to deliver. It's not getting the results I thought it was going to deliver. The value for what I'm spending is not there. I'm not going to. So what I believe is, like, for a company to be successful short-term and long-term, you got to have world-class products. And so here's what I believe. The proof, I would like to say that documentation beats conversation. Like, you could tell me how great your products are. That's great. But documentation beats conversation. And there's no way a company can be in business for 60 plus years and be a growing company in its 60th year unless that company has world-class, rock-solid products. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, there's just no way a company can operate that long with the kind of success that Neolife has had and have world-class products. And then you go in to look at the way they're manufactured and formulated, and the researchers behind the products, and the clinical proof to support the products, et cetera. So I was like, okay, this organization's got one thing in check, and that's the products. And I want to tell you this. I really want to say this is I've been with companies where when I got started there, the first thing we had to go is we had to partner with the product team and start getting under the hood and start trying to go formulate new products, because the products were not powerful enough to stand on their own. And that's a tough place to be in if you don't have products that are strong enough to stand on their own. So when I saw that at Neolife, I knew it had one of the four ingredients to be a successful company and for you all to maximize your potential. Second thing is I think that it has to have the right compensation structure in the field. The compensation plan has to be the right structure. And not all compensation plans are created equal or pay out equal or are built equal. And what I mean by that is there's lots of different compensation plans in the industry. And I've had a chance now to get to work with about 4 different ones now. And what I can tell you is this, in my experience in 11 years, is that we have a breakaway plan. It's called stair-step breakaway compensation plan. You may have heard of other plans like a binary plan or a uni-level plan, all this, but there is not a better designed compensation plan this industry has ever seen, in my opinion, than a stair-step breakaway plan. I believe it is the most fair, the most rewarding, and gives people the best long-term success for true residual income. I think it's the best of the best is what we have in the stair-step breakaway compensation plan. It is the absolute best of the best. And it's funny that I have been with a company that had that, and then I've been with companies that have not had this structure of a comp plan. And literally for years, I've been every day go to the office and working with the team. I'm like, we have to move mountains here, but we have got to take a look at this comp plan, and we got to redesign the comp plan because people cannot win with it. They just cannot win with the comp plan built this way. We've got to rebuild it. What I love about Neolife is we don't have to rebuild the comp plan. We don't have to go manufacture new products. We don't have to go reformulate products and reinvent products because they're not strong enough. We don't have to go tinker with the comp plan because you already have the best compensation design. So I know we have the products and the comp plan. And then the other two, one of them I learned quickly, and the other one I could not learn about that until I got started. The third pillar is the leadership inside the building. You have to have, I believe, in great direct selling organizations, for you all to have the maximum potential. You have to have great leadership at the corporate office in the upper leadership and ownership levels. I'm telling you, because I've seen it now, there's no escaping the top of a direct selling organization. If their principles and their values and their heart and their mission and their competence is not there, everyone suffers. Everyone suffers. I will tell you this. I have never been more impressed with an ownership and executive leadership team than I have been with Neolife. And I've been with a $1 billion organization that was able to hire people from Harvard Business School. And I'm telling you right now, no one that I've worked with in upper leadership position, and especially ownership position, holds a candle to the ownership and leadership Neolife has at the top inside that building. And that's huge. Because you gotta have two pillars there. You gotta have people of character and people of competence. And I think that we have the highest character, most competent ownership and leadership I have ever seen in this industry. And I said this to a friend who I've worked with in this industry. I said it to two friends. Actually talked to one yesterday who's with another direct selling company, executive at another direct selling company. And I talked to one last week, and I said, I've only been here 6 weeks. So I may be naive, but I'm about to say something, and I mean this. Kendra is hands down the most impressive CEO I've had the chance to work with, bar none. So to me, like, we have those. Then the fourth pillar was a gamble. I'll be honest, I didn't know, and there's no way I could know this until I got started. And I think you got to have great field leadership. You got to have great field leadership. You have to have people out in the field, leaders in the field, who have a heart to want to help people. You got to have people in the field that it's not about just making money. Oh, like it's that gives, I think, our industry a bad name. Is a field leader that it's about just making money, and they don't treat people the right way, no character integrity. But once I got started now, and I've gotten to meet so many of you all out in the field and the field leaders, like, I knew we hit all 4 check marks. We have the most loyal, committed, passionate, good-hearted, caring, serving, like, generous field leaders that I've seen. And here's the testament to this. One of the first questions I asked, I said, so tell me, like, when I was talking to some people inside the building, I said, tell me, where are the cross-line dysfunctions? And they said, what do you mean? And I said, so tell me, where is there division amongst the cross-line out in the field that we need to, that this really causing problems? So we don't really have that. we have a one team that all works together. I'm like, what? Like, so I'm telling you, the reason I'm saying this is I'm building up to this one statement I want to start with tonight is, and this is I'm going to be beating this drum for like the next, like probably year, because I just can't help it. It's in my heart. Don't take Neolife for granted. Sometimes the law of familiarity can set in. And once you've been a part of something long enough, what once was very special and had a lot of excitement and had this unbelievable rare air to it over time can just become very familiar, because we're just around it so much that we lose perspective of how great something is. And so what I want to do is I've got fresh eyes. So I want to share my fresh eyes with you and like say, like, don't take Neolife for granted. Don't take this opportunity for granted. I am telling you, from everything that I've seen, this is the best company in the direct selling industry. And I feel confident I can say that right now. Of all the companies that I know of, and all the companies I've been with, this is the greatest direct selling company in the industry. And don't take that for granted. Sometimes it's so easy with the law of familiarity. So that's my like first point is this, like, don't take this for granted. And what I also love, I've shared this before and I'll share it again, is like, I think we're just getting started in North America. Like, I truly believe we are just getting started, that you all, I think timing matters. I think timing matters. Not all times in life are equal. Sometimes there's windows of opportunity or times of opportunity that are larger or bigger than others. Let me give you an example. I live in Frisco, Texas. So this is an example of that, why timing matters. More so sometimes than skill or other things, timing matters. So I live in Frisco, Texas. And this was like 2 years ago. We've been here for probably 4 or 5 years now. It's just a suburb of Dallas. But like 2 years ago, I think it was Business Inc. rated Frisco, Texas, the #1 city in the United States to live, based on all these factors, right? Like education, standard of living, recreational activities, like air quality, like all these things, right? Like rated, #1 city to live in. Well, long story short, there's a gentleman who bought, I can't tell you how many tens of thousands of acres of land in Frisco, Texas, about 40 years ago, when it was just nothing. And it was no roads, nothing developed, whatever that. He is now a billionaire. And what I want to tell you is that because of timing, you could take the greatest real estate investors in the world, and they could not duplicate his success that he had. Even though they have 10,000 times more resources, they have way more connections, they probably have more intellect, but because why? Because the fact that he had timing on his side. He was able to own something when it was nothing, and over time it became something. And so what I'm trying to say is not Neolife isn't nothing. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to say that. What I'm trying to say is that, like, right now we're the best kept secret in North America for health and wellness. And at some point, I think we're going to be like Frisco, Texas, and then we'll be in a magazine, rated the #1 company in North America on culture, on products, on how it treats people, on all those kinds of things. And so what I'm trying to say is that, like, now is the opportunity to build right now, when we are a secret, when we are not a household name, because we will build towards a household name. And I want to encourage you, like, the time is now. You want to build now, not when we are #1 ranked company in North America in health and wellness, and we're all published all over magazines and everybody knows our name. That time will come. You want to be a pioneer, right? You want to be the pioneer like this guy was, who was, acquiring land in Frisco when it was a farming community and it wasn't a place where people lived. That is what I'm trying to get to. So don't take this opportunity for granted. So with that being said, how do you do that? Like, how do you take advantage of this opportunity? And how do you make sure that you maximize this time? I want to encourage you, starting today, March the 1st. Let's break this down into 30 days. I want to encourage you for the next 30 days. I want to encourage you to commit to our 30-day prospecting blitz. Like, I'm not saying like commit to this for the next year. I'm not saying like you need to do this for the next, 10 years. Like, I'm saying like if you can win the next 30 days in your business, like start there. Just start like don't you don't have to think a year from now or two. Is like let's just think like this month, this next 31 days. And I'll tell you this, there's a great book if you want to read it. It's right here. I'm gonna grab it. It's right here on my shelf, actually. Made me think of this. It's called Extreme Ownership. And it's called How U.S. Navy SEALs Lead and Win. Fantastic, just life principles in there and things you'll love. And it's just talking about taking extreme ownership of your circumstances and in your situation. And it's really good. But speaking of this, like putting your blinders on for the next 30 days and committing to the 30-day prospecting challenge, I'm going to come back to this and share a story. But let me tell you what the 30-day prospecting challenge is. And then I want to tell you this story. Is for the next 30 days, can you commit starting today? And if you haven't done it today, there's still plenty of time to share Neolife with at least 2 new people each day for the next 30 days. Like that's it. That's the minimum. That's 60 new contacts. That's 60 new people that you will have shared the product and opportunity with. And for some, you may think that's too low for your aspirations. You're gonna say, I'm gonna do 5 a day. That's what, 300 contacts this month. You know what I love about direct sales is I believe you can compress time in this industry. You can compress time. What do I mean by that? You could talk to 300 people in 30 days, in 30 months, or 30 years. It's just, right? Like, so you have an opportunity to compress time where most people will not talk to 300 people in 30 months. You could compress time in your business, talk to 300 people in 30 days. I'm not saying you have to talk to 300 people, but you get where I'm going, is that you can compress time by funneling all this activity into the next 30 days. But that's the challenge. For the next 30 days, share Neolife with at least 2 new people every day for 30 days. And I want to encourage you to just put the blinders on. Like, just do yourself this like one favor. Just like, you know what, for 30 days, it doesn't matter. When I share it with somebody, it doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter how they respond. Like, I'm just going to share the message. Like, that's I'm just going to be the messenger. I'm just going to share the message, right? I want to encourage, don't let your fear keep someone else potentially from their freedom or your own freedom. So, but I want to put the blinders on, and for 30 days, just go share the message. And I want to give you a couple of quick tips. If you're like, I think this is where the rubber meets the road in this business. Like, I think this is the most important thing to do, is talking to people and sharing Neolife. If we're not doing that, we're never going to build a business, right? We're never going to get to where we want to go. And so some of you may go, like, Stephen, I don't know what to say. Like, when I reach out to somebody, like, what do I say? Like, I'm so afraid. What do I say? Like, here's what I believe. People care way more about how you say something than what you say. If you're passionate and excited, and you truly have a heart to help them, that'll outweigh that. Don't worry about having the perfect words. Don't worry about, if you know your story of how Neolife has impacted you, and maybe the story of some other people, and you have your leader's cell phone number, that's all you need to know. Because the best thing you could say to someone who says, he asks you a question that you don't know, say, that's a great question. I don't know, but here's what I do know. I've got a great friend who's helping me. I'd love to connect her with us, because she could be able to answer that question. So you don't have to have all the answers. So let me encourage you this. Like, if you're afraid to share because you feel like, I don't know what to say, or I don't have the perfect words, all you need to know is how to share your story, how Neolife made an impact in your life, and know your leader's cell phone number to plug them in for third-party credibility. So don't feel like you have to know everything to go talk to people. And I think that happens a lot. We get paralysis by analysis. Well, I need to know all the products. I need to know all of the ingredients. I need to know all the clinical studies. I need to know how riboflavin, mixes with this and that. And I need to become, a chemist. Like, I need to know every bit of the compensation plan and how all the percentages pay out. And like, you don't need to know any of that. And honestly, if you are sharing all that, it's probably going to glaze them over anyway. They're gonna be like, what is Stephen talking about? What, I don't like, remember, facts tell and stories sell. You just need to know stories of how Neolife is making an impact in people's lives, and share relatable stories. Stories sell and facts sell. So don't think you have to know everything in order to be able to compete into this challenge. You do not. And here's the thing. And you may think like, well, I don't know exactly what to do or how to do all this, or like, what if I mess it up? I live by the phrase of like, I'd rather have a wildfire than no fire in your business. Like go make a mess and we'll clean it up later. Like let's go make a mess and we'll just clean it up later. Like I'd rather have a wildfire out there of you in action than like waiting to get everything just right to get started. Okay. Like, and here's how you get really good at talking to people. Talking to people is how you get really good at talking to people. So that's the challenge, is like over the next 30 days, like don't think more than that. Just in March, let's go talk to as many people as we can with at least 2 a day. And here's my encouragement. Like, let's set a record in your own personal business that you're going to help more new people get started on products in March than you have any other month in the last 12 months. And for some, it may be the most you've had in your entire business. You're going to get more new people started this month of March than you have in any other month in the last 12 months. Like, have your own incentive with yourself, like a beat your best, like call it the beat your best incentive. Like, I'm going to beat my best personal recruiting month this month than I have in the last 12 months or the last really you've ever had in your business. I believe you can do that. I know one reason is because March is a really great month for this industry. People are looking for solutions in March. March is typically one of the best months that we have in this industry. It's one of the best times of the year that people are looking for solutions. So it's not like you're trying to share a message in a season where it's not going to connect. It's going to connect. So, okay. And then another reason we sometimes don't share is like the fear of rejection. And I just want to talk about that just for 1 second too. Like, oh my goodness, what if they say no? Or what if they say I'm not interested? Or what if they say not right now? And let me just encourage you with this. They're going to. That's exactly what they're going to say when you call them. They're going to say, oh, I'm not sure, or not right now, or not interested. Here's how I know this. Because studies show that most people don't say yes right away. And so that first conversation, your goal is just to plant the seed. You're planting the seed of hope with somebody. And I shared this with Kendra today. About like, don't worry if they say no. Like, what if they say no? I want to encourage it. They're going to say no. So just get yourself ready for that. Like, right. I like to say, like, it'd be like getting a no in our business would be like, if you were a boxer, like I'm not a boxer. I don't know if anyone else here's a boxer, but like, it'd be like getting in a boxing ring and like they like the judges ring the bell and the fight starts and they like the other boxer comes and starts throwing punches at you. And you're like, well, what's going on? Like, why is this happening? It's like, you're boxing. Like, that's what you do in boxing. I think they throw punches. It's like, we are in sharing solutions, and part of sharing solutions, people are just going to say no and not right now. It's just part of the process. But let me encourage you with why it's so important to plant that seed and follow up. I don't know if you've seen these statistics before. Now, these are for professional sales. So I don't think they're exactly applicable as far as percentage to percentage with our industry, but I think they're close enough. But it says this: 48% of people never follow up with a prospect. So 48% of people make a contact and never follow up with a prospect. 25% of people make a second contact and stop. 12% of people make a third contact and stop. So 48% of people never follow up after the first contact. 25% of people make a second contact and stop. 12% of people make a third contact and stop. And only 10% of people make more than 3 contacts. Remember that number. Only 10% of people make more than 3 contacts. Then here's the reverse statistics of that. Only 2% of sales are made on the first contact. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% of sales are made on the third contact. 10% of sales are made on the fourth contact. 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. What we learned was that less than 10% of people make more than 80% of the money. Why? Why do less than 10% of people make more than 80% of the money? The follow-up. They're willing to go plant the seed and have the initial conversation and then follow up. So as you're going through this 30-day challenge, I want to encourage you, don't just go, make the initial contact and plant that seed and not follow up. You have to follow up. So that's like critically important. So let me just tell you why I want to encourage you for like 30 days. In this book, one of the things, have y'all heard about in like Navy SEALs, whenever someone's going through Navy SEAL training, they have this thing called, I think it's called Hell Week. It's where like they put you through, like they put the SEALs in training for 1 week through like the most grueling, like just impossible situation. And this is, it's to like really like weed out. It's to really weed out those that are not supposed to be SEALs. Like they don't let them sleep, or they let them sleep for like hardly any sleep for 7 days. They like have to lay out in the ocean in like freezing water for hours. And it's just like goes on and on and on. And they have to do like these races, these impossible races where like they have no sleep. They've been exercising and running all day and all night. They've been out in the ocean, like, you know, like in the water and stuff like that. And then like they have these races. So, but these SEALs, like they were interviewed about like, well, how do they make it? Like, how do some of these people make it through this like grueling experience? And it says they keep their eyes fixed on just the next point in front of them. They don't think about the whole 7 days. All they think about is I've got to get this boat with this team to that pier. I'm not thinking about anything else. Like between now and that pier, all I'm thinking about is like, I'm not thinking about the next 7 days of all the running I'm going to have to do, of all the lack of sleep I'm going to get, of all this. I'm just going to get, all I'm thinking about is how I can get this boat to that pier. And then when they get to that pier, and the next thing they have to do is then it's like, okay, now I've got to go do this. Like, so what they say is like, they don't try to win the entire week. They just focus on what is the next point in front of them. And I'm going to complete that. I'm just going to complete that next day. And when I get that, I'll focus on what's the next thing I can complete. And what it allows them to do is that they don't destroy themselves by having this, like thinking about how am I going to do this for 7 days? No, I'm just going to I'm going to get to the pier. So I want to encourage you, like, no matter what your aspirations are, I just want to encourage you, like 31 days, 30 days, March. Like, let's go all out in March and set a record. Like, that's my encouragement. That's my challenge. So with that, Nat, I'm going to hand it back over to you. I don't know. I know you may want to do some questions, or you may have some things that you want to share.
Yeah, no, I'd love to open up to questions because I'm pretty pumped. And you're right. I mean, when you were talking about taking it for granted, right? Because I mean, some of us have been around for many years, right, Lynn and Heather, and my gosh, like 34, how many years, Lynn? 40, 45? Oh, you're muted. I muted you guys. You can unmute yourselves. Sorry, Lynn.
Okay, I'm not even sure. 38 maybe? How many are you now?
30, around just 30, probably 31 for me now. So yeah.
So I think I'm about 37.
Yeah. So I mean, and it's interesting, Stephen, because when I spoke at the training on Saturday, I don't feel like I never get bored. I never get like I really truly am excited. Like that excitement has never left my heart, which is, and most people with a company for that, you know, for that long, they lose interest. Whereas I just love what I do. And that, you know, I always tell my mom is I could do this 24 hours a day and never feel like I work a second in the day. Right. So that's the beauty of this kind of business. And you're right, because the products, because of the people, because of Kendra, because of the team, and, you know, the relationships that we built right over the years. And some of the newbies like Serena, I think you're starting to feel that, right? You're starting to experience that because you've met some of us in person, and we've had gatherings where we get together now, you know, and we get that feeling of just community, right? Which is so awesome. So what I would love for any questions on that 30-day blitz, because I'm glad you said 30 new people, Stephen, because my thing is I have people on my list that I've connected with in the past, but I haven't followed up with them again. Could they be one of those new people, or does that have to be brand new people that aren't on my list? That's what I want to ask you, because I have a list of people that I've been trying to connect with over the last few months. Are they on that 2-day, like 2 a day, or is it above and beyond, like brand new? Just so I want to make sure we're clear on the challenge.
No, I think if you're talking to a prospect, that's why I call it prospecting blitz. So I mean, it could be like a second contact, a third, just you know, yeah, absolutely.
Because I have a lot that I haven't followed up with, so that's why I'm going to go back and add those and just keep on trucking. Okay, good. Thank you. Any other questions from the team? Come on, guys. This is your platform. Or share something. 'Cause I want Stephen to get to know you guys a little more. Some of our new leaders. We have Serena and Yuli, who are brand new executive managers. Stephen, I know you made a comment on their posts on the Ideal Business. As I want to congratulate them. They're really. Anybody else have any other recognition that they want to recognize their team for accomplishments for last month? Now that we've closed today officially.
And I'll let you know about that. Speaking of that, congratulations to all of the new step ups. And I just want you to know that recognition, we're as soon as we get the reports, which hopefully we're going to get by Friday, but into early next week, we're going to get the recognition slides out on our Neolife Business Builder page to be able to recognize you all. And then I believe it's the March 14th weekly leadership call. We'll have a recognition section where we'll recognize each step up by name and feature some stories of some of the step ups on that call as well. So recognition to come for the month of February soon. But yeah, I'd love to hear if there's any more.
When had her hand up? When?
I want to recognize my brother, Jim Boake, who's the black square, that he became a senior manager and was able to attend. He was able to attend the school on Saturday, and he did.
Awesome. Oh, welcome. That's great. Congratulations.
Sorry, Jim, I outed you.
That's great. Anybody else? Because I did have one more question for Stephen. Yes, Lynn, unmute yourself, hon.
Yeah, it's Wen, Jim's sister. Yeah, she had a goal of doing over 3,000, and she met her goal. So on her way to director, she knows she can do
Because
it.
my brother went big.
That's great, man. Wow. Pretty soon we'll have a new director in our Canadian team. Awesome.
End of March, this Blizt is going to take me over the top.
Oh, that's great, Wen.
I believe
Awesome. And just so you know, Stephen, I know you talked about how one of the things you're impressed with how our teams work together. Well, Wen and I think I mentioned this, Lynn and Heather, they're another group that are part of Jim Stevenson's downline and even
Gay.
yeah. And I said Wen, Lynn, Heather, and sorry,
Gay.
did I miss?
Oh, Gay's here tonight. Gay.
Oh, there she is. Where's Gay? Oh yes, hi Gay. Yes, that's that whole line. So yeah, it's pretty cool. We've been working together, and we even plan retreats together and events together. So it's awesome. We work together, which is so nice. And Patience International. Yes, the Patience are international. We've adopted Patience. and she plays a really big role in helping a lot of our team that's sponsored in Africa, like abroad. So she reaches out a lot and gives us some amazing support. Thank you. So this event in March, the webinar, do you want to maybe just clarify exactly what we're to expect so that we know how to invite? So I think that's going to be really, really important.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that because I totally meant to mention it. So March 15th, go ahead and March 15th, Tuesday, March the 15th, it'll be at 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is going to be 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. It'll be a Discover Neolife webinar. It'll be approximately somewhere in between 20 to 30 minutes in length. No more than 30 though. We're going to shoot for that, 20 to 25 in length. And what this event will be, and let me tell you who it's for. It is for, actually, I'll put it, I think it's going to be great for, I'll start off and give you everyone I think it's going to be great for. First, I think this is going to be an incredible event for your prospects and guests. Like that is the target audience that we will be speaking to and that will receive the most from this is those who want to take another look at Neolife products and opportunity to see if it might be for them. So someone who you've talked to one-on-one, maybe they've even attended another like Zoom meeting or you've had lunch with them, but like this is going to give them a little bit bigger picture of what Neolife is all about. So number one group I would say is phenomenals for your prospecting and guests. That would be like the number one target audience that you want to invite onto it. Number two is I also think this would be great for club members. Because I think I think for club members, it'll remind them of how world-class, for lack of a better term, world-class the company is that they are customers of and using products of. But most importantly, you may have club members who don't know about the opportunity or don't even know that there is an opportunity to earn income here, or who may have an interest in that, or who may want to take a look at the opportunity side, and they're really going to see that aspect at the Discover Neolife webinar. So I think for club members, it'll be great to give them just more confidence in the products they're using, but also it could highlight for them, there's more here than just products. So club members. I also think for like new promoters, this is going to be great as well, because I think it's just going to get them excited and encouraged and have them have more confidence, et cetera. And then for everyone, hopefully it'll be a great template of like, man, like, okay, like the great template of like how you could take that message and go duplicate it out in the field. So I think it's really for everyone, but the target audience is prospects and guests, and maybe those club members who want to learn more about what Neolife has to offer, more than just maybe the product side. So let me tell you what that's going to be. It's going to be very, very simple. It's going to be just kind of give you the 30,000 foot view. It's going to be about, we're going to show who we are at Neolife, what the company is about, what the company stands for, who we are, what we do at Neolife. And specifically, we're going to pinpoint and highlight and zero in on the solutions we provide. So who we are, that'll highlight the values and the principles and the culture of the organization. You know, what we do, what we do, which is we are second to none at creating and formulating and delivering world-class products and helping people start their own opportunity to earn income that's simple and cost-effective and a super low barrier to entry. And the solutions that we provide, which is helping people look better, feel better, perform better in their health and their wellness, and lose weight, have energy, feel fit, get healthy. The solutions we provide and helping people be able to pay off debt, have more income, all those kinds of things. So that's who we are, what we do, the solutions we provide. We're also then going to take a moment to dive into the power of the products to validate what we do. Like, okay, well then, so we're going to validate the things that the solutions we provide with the power of the products, talk about the science behind and within the products, and share stories, testimonials of people who've had great success on the products. We're gonna talk about the power of the opportunity and how it's risk-free, low startup cost. You're in business for yourself and not by yourself. You have an entire support system in place. You get to do it with ultimate freedom and flexibility, all from the convenience of your home and your phone. And you can do it as little or as much as you want. You can do it in the nooks and crannies of your day. You can do it spare time, part-time. Some people do this full-time. And we're going to highlight stories of people whose lives have been changed because of the opportunity. And then we're going to end the call with Kendra, will be our keynote, and she's going to close with why Neolife, why now? All that's going to be done in 20, 25 minutes, 30, no more than 30 max. So who we are, what we do, the solution we provide, the power of the products and the opportunity, and why Neolife, why now? And so that'll be the event. So I would encourage you, you want to load that up. And we're getting the flyers, the emails are going to be sent out. I think tomorrow we'll have the flyer and the emails all sent out with the ability to get registered for that webinar. You can send that link out as well. And then what we're going to do is, just so you'll know, I'll give you it's going to be, let me put it this way. It's going to be a very professional, high quality, high energy, presentation, that you'll be very proud to be able to put anybody on that. We're not going to embarrass you by any means. I'll put it that way. Not going to embarrass you. You can feel comfortable putting anybody on there, knowing that they're going to get a great look at Neolife. But we're going to record that webinar, and then we're going to put that on shareneolife.com, and you'll be able to send that out, after the event as well as a prospecting tool down the road. don't share that with everybody. I'm telling you that because we want people to join us live that night,
Yeah.
and load that night up.
That
So
sounds awesome.
yeah.
I think that was one of the missing tools, I think. We have a lot of great tools for product, a lot of great tools to share a little bit, but this is going to be, I think, the missing link, guys. Awesome. Thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you for sharing that with us. I think a lot of thumbs up. We got our tools. Lynn, where's your hat? I've got my hammer. I've got my paint roller. There's Heather with her hard hat. There's Lynn. I like to know who's behind the ready to work. Oh, and there you got your phone. And Lynn's got her phone is her tool. That's great. Oh.
And by the way, I'm just thinking this. We haven't selected, but we will. I'm just talking here, thinking through this with you guys. We will have one of the stories be someone in Canada, because we want to show that evening that not only are we in 50 plus countries, but we really want to highlight, because most people will be tuning in will be in North America. We really want them to see that US and Canada, and really highlight that aspect, get people like, wow, this isn't just in my little community. Like, this is global. This is a big company with get people thinking how, get thinking big. So we'll have a Canadian story on there as well, for sure.
Well, we do appreciate the Canadian, even the stats and the recognition, and we've noticed it even just with the last couple of presentation that we're feeling equal to the U.S. company. Violet, by the way, is from the U.S., from New York, so she's our adopted New Yorker, and so it's she's built a great team there, and so we do have a U.S. Group growing, but it's so nice that we'll be kind of on the same. We feel like, I don't know, just we're more part of the company, which is really important, especially for Canadians. So really appreciate that. We really noticed that already. So awesome. Anything else before we sign off? So I know we've got our health talk in about 10 minutes on the other side. Anything else anybody wants to say before we close off and say goodnight to Stephen so he can go off and put his kiddos to bed. We're good?
Just thank you, Stephen, for all the enthusiasm and information you supplied to us tonight. It was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for having me.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for your support. Love you all, and congratulations on a great month for some of you. And just March is going to be awesome. I'm really excited.
Yes. Yeah.
March Madness.
The Blitz
Yes,
is on.
yes. March will be
Oh, here,
awesome.
you can't see it, but the Blitz is on. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Stephen.
Good night.
Good night.
Hi, guys. Thank you.
Where am I here? Let's go charity.